And I got to have a little bit of fun here or I'll go crazy. You got to be a little nuts or you might go completely insane in a world like this. Where to begin? Where to start? There is so much to cover here. Well, this all ties into Hillary and to Homeland Security. I see a connection here to all this little constellation of articles. So let me hit this first. This is from Aaron Klein. It's in the emails out of Hillary's private secret email account that she even had her own servers for, showing the premeditated fraud when she was being subpoenaed on information to cover it up, which is called absconding or obstruction of justice, a conspiracy to hide criminal activity. That's why Sheila Jackson had to step down from the command base that she ran there at the EPA with all her carbon taxing, was because she got caught with a nom de plume, that is a pen name, an alias, and a fake email account. By fake email account, an email account that was not a governmental account that she was doing governmental business through. And Hillary has been caught with multiple accounts with nom de plumes, conducting government business, with a bunch of other aliases and code words. And I can tell you right now that these code word people are going to be folks like Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, and then Hillary's known girlfriend that is a top administrator in the White House that she travels with and has been seen snuggling with in public, which is okay, fine. Just you know, don't deny it. If you're so proud of being a bisexual lesbian, then just announce it. And eat the same food the kids eat at the school lunch program. But, you know, I digress from there. All of this is beginning to come out now, but it ties into this story at WorldNet Daily right now. Saudi money financed Benghazi attack, hacked email show. Intel reportedly sent to Hillary by Clinton White House staffer. An email reportedly sent to Hillary Clinton by former Clinton White House staffer Sidney Blumenthal quotes an intelligence source providing information that wealthy Sunni Islamists in Saudi Arabia funded the September 11th, 2012 attack on the U.S. special mission in Benghazi. You mean Saudi Arabia funded the takeover of Libya through Benghazi in the 2 years before that? And you mean they're involved? I mean, as if everyone doesn't already know this, but here it is, yet again documented. The leaked emails were published by Russia Today, which says it was forwarded the emails from Blumenthal's AOL account by a hacker using the alias Guccifer, who they've got in prison right now. What is it, in Romania? Of course, turns out as a listener of this show. Guccifer reportedly hacked Blumenthal's email in March of 2013. Guccifer has since been identified as Marcial Lazar Laith, a Romanian hacker serving a 7-year sentence for hacking into accounts of Romanian government officials. He tried to meet with the New York Times and others to give him this, and of course the New York Times didn't want it. So guess who does? The Ruskies. Doesn't mean the Ruskies are good guys, but that's why separation of powers are good in a government or in a world. Because national sovereignty acts like a firewall. And the fact that the Russians will publish this stuff that the New York Times won't, just like with Snowden, really worries the establishment. Remember, Guccifer was talking about the Bilderberg Group and global government, what he got out of government officials' emails. And he admittedly got into hundreds of them. And now the Russians have it all. Enjoy yourself, Hillary. The Russians don't appreciate the jihadis attacking them, trying to destabilize their entire country. They're going to burn you, witch, politically. Maybe just throw a bucket of water on you. I'll get you and your little dog, too, my pretty. These things must be done delicately. Let's continue here. The leaked emails were published by Russia Today and came from Guccifer, which they've been sitting on. They will have no wine until it's time. The alleged memos concern information Blumenthal says he gleaned about the Benghazi attack and the January 2013 hostage crisis at the gas complex in Algeria. And it goes on. That dovetails with this little doblet. Europe will face a 9/11 within 2 years, Colonel Gaddafi's cousin says. They're going all throughout Europe. Within 1 year, 2 years, you will have another September 11th. He's not threatening. He's saying the same al-Qaeda that has been given control of Libya to now make it a failed state, and they go, oh, Hillary screwed up. No, it was by design. Now are saying they're going to 9/11 Europe, and he's agreeing with that, and now the EU says they're bracing for a new 9/11. The FBI said last week, ISIS and al-Qaeda is in all 50 states suddenly, from being degraded and defeated and destroyed to just back from the dead like the Phoenix, Frankenstein. Bigger, badder, meaner. And the answer is more taxes for Homeland Security and taking your freedoms and spying on everything you do and arresting Tea Partiers and arresting filmmakers and harassing pro-lifers with Homeland Security while the border stays wide open. That will protect us. Isn't that just special? Now, that then dovetails with Hillary and her other email scandals that tie into this. Clinton ran own computer system for her official emails. See, that's why Lois Lerner kept saying they'd lost the emails on a hard drive. They're always kept on a separate server. And then they would never say and block subpoenas and wouldn't answer subpoenas about where those servers were. And then once Congress even learned where they were, Congress suddenly didn't want them. It's a big blackmail game up there at the top. The computer server that transmitted and received Hillary Clinton's emails on a private account she used exclusively for official business when she was Secretary of State traced back to an internet service registry to her family's home in New York. Is Chappaquidda? According to internet records reviewed by the Associated Press, the highly unusual practice of a cabinet-level official, a highly illegal practice. Remember they took Obama's BlackBerry away because it could be hacked remotely? The highly unusual practice of a cabinet-level official physically running her own email would have gotten Clinton, the presumptive Democratic presidential candidate, impressive control over limiting access to her message archives. It would also distinguish Clinton's secretive email practices as far more sophisticated than some politicians because she's been CIA since out of high school, folks, including Mitt Romney and Sarah Palin. And then it just goes on. To break this down, Congress will probe Hillary Clinton's emails, another headline at a New York Post. Benghazi committee says Hillary used multiple personal email accounts. Politico. Maybe Hillary Clinton should retire her White House dreams. National Journal. Using private email, Hillary Clinton thwarted records request. Well, who is Eric Hottenham? Clinton's private server listed under mysterious, untraceable name. Well, that's what Sheila Jackson did at the EPA, was a bunch of fake names. This is what criminals do, folks. Lisa Jackson, whatever the idiot's name is. Teleprompter free. I get these names wrong sometimes. By the way, were you just on air, Nico?
I was not.
I will give a cigar to whoever in there when you guys correct me or help me out. I think it adds to the show when I get something wrong, because I go 100% from memory most of the time, that you pop in and just correct me openly on air. We've had a lot of... How many meetings we had about this?
More than I can count.
More. You're on air right now, right?
I'm on air right now.
You are awesome. Nico Acosta does a fabulous job. I don't know how I can get you guys, unless you think something's really inappropriate, I'd like to be corrected openly on air. Now, I understand you guys want to make sure you're correct, but you usually are.
Be careful what you ask for.
Be careful what you ask for. Well, let's try it out. Let's just try what I want. How's that sound?
Copy that.
Thank you. Mold count is off the chart today in Austin, Texas. And it does not really hurt, other than the fact that it makes my voice particularly deep and annoying sounding. So I'm not trying to sound like this right now. This is what I sound like. This is what I sound like. Most people, when they hold their nose, sound like a mouse. This is what I sound like when my nose that actually adds a twang to my speech is not stopped up. And I am attempting as best I can to not sound like Smog from the Hobbit movie. You disgusting lake man. Okay, where to go next? There is so much to get to. We do have Will King Halbig on the latest on the Sandy Hook cover-up. And I don't know what happened to Sandy Hook, but it's as phony as a $3 bill. Kind of like somebody's radically swerving down the road, driving crazy. They're either having a stroke or an epileptic event or a diabetic shock, or they've had a half a gallon of Jack Daniels or something. And if I'm a cop, I'm pulling them over. And I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. Same thing with Sandy Hook. Just like 9/11, it is as phony as a $3 bill.